Good morning, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Friday. Happy payday. Happy everything day. In this world of a lot of people, 7 billion people. And yeah, so I posted on my Facebook a video about the FEMA caskets. The reason why I posted that was something that I explored in the conspiracy world, the FEMA caskets. And, these aren't like coffins that you would buy on Amazon. It's not something that you would buy for your friends or your family. I mean, the funeral industry makes a killing on funeral homes, funeral arrangements, really tastefully done, well-made coffins to just pine boxes. Okay, they have a budget for everybody. So, and then we have natural disasters like hurricanes in America or tornadoes that the funeral homes would have the first dibs. I don't think we've had any natural disaster where we had major mass casualties to where it would warrant a preparation of just 20 deep, 100-pound FEMA caskets, FEMA coffins to be made way in advance for something. Who knows what? So check out that video. Actually, I'll put it on here. And then you can determine for yourself what it actually means, because those FEMA caskets, FEMA coffins would be very usable in China at this point. But you hear about them burning bodies, you hear about people dying. You're seeing mainstream media cover, a death here, a ship, docking over in Cambodia. I mean, I'm telling you, this is insane. This is so unprecedentedly insane. I can't even I'm kind of like my mouth is dropping, because I kind of I explored this, but I'm like, really, it's conspiracy. And, there probably is a certain amount of conspiracy and embellishment, but then I'm like, maybe, maybe not, but you can't really do anything about it. So the only thing you can do about it is really strengthen your body, because the train has left the station. It's just a matter of when the train is going to get to your stop. And this is probably why the universe told me to change the salt, because the environment is becoming so much more aggressive that now we have to stop messing around with the pink salt. And now we have to really get to brass tacks. So I'm trying to get that video, but I have to go through another window here. And so, yeah, I posted on my wall about COVID-19 updates, 1,700 health workers infected, first fatality in Japan. I mean, this is not like the Ebola virus. Ebola virus came and went, and that was it. This is taking up so many airwaves. This is taking up so many, oh my God. So I'm going to just go to YouTube. I can't play it because it'll be copyright infringement if I were to take this and download it to YouTube, which I usually do. So I'm just going to post the video. You guys can watch it from that. Because I don't put out conspiracy stuff unless I can really substantiate the credibility. And I would say the FEMA caskets are very credible as far as them preparing for something huge. Hold on, my dog's coming up here. Sugar, come on in. Come on. Come on. Because she'll scratch at the door and she'll be like, okay, now you lay down, okay? This is not playtime right now. You lay down. You lay down. You're a good girl. You lay down. Okay, you lay down. Lay down. I got to get her a bed in here. She's just kind of like, okay. It's, yeah, poor thing. So anyway, so I don't put out too much conspiracy. I've pulled back from the conspiracy world, and then I am slowly bringing in things that I could substantiate based upon indicators. Okay. And mainstream media is a barometer. No matter how much you guys want to say it's brainwashing, mainstream media is a barometer. It's letting you know what's coming down the pipeline. And we're already seeing people drop like flies from the flu, but they're not testing for the COVID-19. So you could have influenza A and B be fortified with the COVID-19, and no one would know unless you actually tested for it. What would be the reason why you test for it? Well, they would say these are the protocols to test for it. Have you been in China, or have you been around someone who's been in China who just came back recently? Okay, so if you're not asking for a test for the COVID-19 and you take the influenza A and B test, they're like, hey, you got the influenza virus here. Here's some fluids. Go home and rest. And if you are hard of breathing or you have other issues, and they put you on respirators and IV bags and whatever, and that's how they do it. Or people die because they have so many predispositions, or people trigger heart attacks and strokes and maybe they survive it, or people trigger pneumonia. But will they actually test for what was the trigger point? What virus was it that triggered that? No, unless you request it. But even if you request it, they're not going to see a reason for it because you've never been in that province. Oh, well, I hear about that. It's probably in the population, and you don't have to be in that region or be around anyone in that region. And they'll be like, well, we don't have it. We don't have the money for it. It's not necessary. Let's test for the flu A and flu B. And if you come up positive, that's where it stands. Because that's why we haven't had any confirmed cases in Ohio. There are false negatives. People can test negative for the COVID-19 and then later on test positive. So how many times are they testing that kid over there in Miami, down south, Miami, Ohio, Miami County, Ohio? Okay. So, we don't know what their protocols are as far as testing or how long they're testing. The incubation periods are huge and long. The quarantines are kind of a joke. Okay, it's more for just show. So you guys really have to know that this shit's coming around. And they had the ship, a dock, over there in Cambodia. Cambodia is a very, economically depressed area with a very weak healthcare system. Okay. So anyways, this is the reality of it. And so if you're vegan and vegetarian and you have major predispositions, you need to step up the J juice. You need to step up the J juice. You need to bring in some kind of chicken or some kind of animal fat in your body, because you're going to need every ounce of nutrition, every ounce of fat, every ounce of minerals that are in the advanced data packs. Okay? I mean, I'm thinking now that things are kind of crazy that, yeah, maybe you need to bring in some red meat while you're doing the J juice. But if you have a lot of blockage in your bowels, then you got to kind of just clean out your colon with the J juice and maybe do a little bit of meat here and there. I mean, it's okay to go off the diet, at least with the meat, because you guys are going to need every ounce of nutrition during this time. This is insane. Okay, canned meat, whatever. Tuna, just get whatever you can, do the J juice, switch from the pink salt to the white salt. And this is like emergency jelly juice protocol. Okay, because they say in the next 2 to 4 weeks, the next wave is going to hit the West. And they're already leaking out slowly but surely numbers that are far higher and far exceeding the actual recorded numbers. Okay, so now that you guys have done the pink salt and now you're hopefully graduating to the white salt, you're going to find that the taste of the white salt is going to be so good. I mean, I was making my juice yesterday with the white salt, with a little bit of the pink salt, and I'm telling you, the salt tasted good. Like, it was just like, oh my God, it was just like, oh, it was really, really good. And that was far different than my experience back earlier on, because it felt so salty. But this just tasted like, when you hadn't had salt in a while, and you're like, oh, this is like, it's just, the flavor was just amazing. And so I'm going to tell you that most likely the white salt's going to be, for those that have been on the J juice and you're doing the pink salt and you're doing it at the level that you should, you're going to like the taste. If you don't like the taste of the white salt, then you need to up your game no matter what, because you haven't upped your game really with the pink salt. So now you really need to up your game with the white salt. Okay, so I'm just looking at this. I don't know, man. I'm watching what's going on the news, and people are like, oh, don't watch the news, it's brainwashing. No, let me tell you, this is nothing like the Ebola virus or the Zika or the H1N1. I mean, there's all over the news, but not really, not to this magnitude, not when you have people quarantined in the middle of the freaking ocean looking for a port because no one wants to take them in. Okay, I mean, this stuff is serious. And right now you're hearing, I mean, there's military, the military is gearing up for this. I mean, when I was in the military, this is what we prepared for, was basically biological warfare. We were wearing chem warfare suits. I chalked it up that we were preparing to go into a battlefield like, Iraq and Iran, and they're throwing nukes back and forth, and we have to work in, chem warfare suits. But biological warfare is really what's going on. Biological warfare is where it attacks the individual. And it's not like a battlefield where you're taken to arms or you're in some kind of like area where they're throwing RPGs. No, this is a biological attacking the individual's predispositions, major predispositions and minor. If you are relatively healthy, like relatively, and not doing the J juice, it'll take you down a notch. If you're dealing with major predispositions or minor ones, people right now are dropping from the flu. I can't confirm that the COVID is behind the flu, but if the flu A and B is that aggressive and people are dying from the flu A and flu B in my town, as well as you're seeing people dropping like flies with pneumonia, I'm seeing people all over my Facebook are in the hospital with pneumonia. Or somebody is dealing with, they broke a hip, or they fractured this, or they fractured that. This is unprecedented. You guys have to really take this seriously. Up your J juice, do the white salt. Warn your friends and family. This shit's no joke. People are like laughing, no, it's not that bad. You don't want to be right, but you know what? I don't want to be right about the whole thing with the J juice. I mean, my trolls, I was talking to on that one page, that troll page. She's like, you're fear-mongering about the military and quarantine and FEMA camps. No, honey, if they're already doing that, 10,000 people in Vietnam, 10,000 people, the first mass quarantine outside of China. This shit's serious. If something's going to happen. I mean, you have only 500 beds in your local hospital. Google your local hospital, see how many beds there are, and then count the population. Count how many people, if 48% are dealing with cardiovascular issues and they're going to be hit by this virus, how many are going to be clogging up the ER? Then they're going to have to do FEMA camps and makeshift medical tents, no different than being on a battlefield out there in the middle of who knows where, like in the Civil War. Okay? I'm looking at checkpoints, and if you have any kind of fever, that's what I'm saying, up your game with the J juice, get the mucus out, get everything out of your body, and just see if you can up your level of the healing. I know it's going to suck, but you try to do J juice and you're getting hit with the COVID and you still have to go to work and you're going through a checkpoint and you're running like 100 and something fever. They're going to take you in for testing or be under suspicion or do an MRI to check for little glass shards that are in your lungs, because that's another way for them to find out if you have been afflicted, because there's not enough tests to go around. So they're doing other ways to unofficially confirm that you have this type of virus. Okay? Because fever is a body-fighting infection. Okay? I know it's going to be too late for many of you. I know it is. And I know it's going to be too late for many of my friends, my family. I'm facing that. You guys are facing that this is really no joke, that your friends and family are going to be compromised, taken down a notch. Those that are highly in the exercise industry and taking their bodies down to like muscle, and they have hardly any fat, and they've weakened their 11 different systems. Okay. I mean, at some point you have to realize that you can think that the mainstream media is blowing smoke up your ass, but I'm sorry, there's just way too much coverage on this to chalk it up to mainstream media fear-mongering. Oh, they're trying to scare everybody so they can give you a vaccine. Let me tell you, the vaccine would save probably 50% of the lives out there. The fact they don't have a vaccine ready until maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe 18 months. We're hearing that San Diego, they have a vaccine, but they still have to go through its clinical trials. It still has to be experimented on animals. They still have to watch and see. It's not going to be ready yet. And we're saying that the wave is coming in 2 to 4 weeks. It's not going to be ready in time. By the time they have a vaccine, it's going to be too late. It'll be for the newborns. Not so much for your friends and family that are already afflicted or deteriorating with issues. Okay? So, I mean, whoever it is that started all of this up, they probably have a vaccine for them. I don't know who. Yes, you could say the Illuminati, the Communist Party, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, everybody can blame whatever. But you know what? They have the vaccines do save lives. So most likely whoever released this already has the vaccine, will be able to withstand. So either you get a vaccine for it, which is not there yet, which we don't have yet, or you strengthen your body. You guys are the lucky ones that are able to strengthen your body with the J juice to withstand the environment so you can take on these antigens and your body will produce antibodies and release the excess so it doesn't overaccumulate and then completely clog up your arteries and capillaries and then cause so much fluid to build up in your lungs and drown you in your own fluids. Okay? So that's why the J juice exists, because you're able to take on the environment and release the excess antigen. What is that antigen? Excess antibodies from the amount of antibodies that are being produced because of an aggressive virus in the environment, releasing the excess minerals your body is holding on to, releasing excess fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones your body is holding on to, releasing the excess antibodies when you get exposed to whatever virus is in the environment and your body's creating antibodies at a rapid level, because it is. When I had that mucus attack, now I don't know if it was influenza A or influenza B or if it was the COVID-19, but I'm telling you, I was pouring mucus out of my body, coughing up a storm. So I have an idea that the COVID-19 is going to be something like that if it hasn't hit me already. Okay, so, you know, the influenza A and influenza B should be some kind of primer to let you know what the COVID-19 is going to be. It's going to be a freaking doozy. And you've got to get on the J juice and start releasing the excess. Make room for your body to create the antibodies for this new virus that's in the environment. And when you take on that new virus, you have enough room for antibodies and it won't clog up your arteries and capillaries. And the J juice will fix the weaknesses. Because remember, when you have too much of anything, you know, too much water in your boat, the boat's going to start sinking. If the bilge pump doesn't work, then the boat starts sinking. And Terry Cody, I see you putting dots like you're wanting to follow. Do the J juice. I don't have a lot of people saying too much. They say stuff here, say stuff there, but do the J juice. Okay? Listen to my videos. There's not much people are going to say that's going to make you do this or not do this. Do the J juice. Okay? Because you can only follow so much. Eventually, you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is. And I want you guys to survive this, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. You know, when I'm already seeing 2 people in one family, one got a heart attack, another one passed away. One was 50-year-old, got a heart attack, living with 9 years of stents. Another one was like in his 90s, passed away. Like that. And he was doing pretty good. He lived through all these different, you know, flu viruses the last couple of years. But hey, predispositions, that's what they're going to chalk it up to. Are they going to test him for the COVID-19? No. But they could test him for the flu A and flu B, and that most likely, since it's so aggressive, that could have taken that person out. Who knows? But if flu A and flu B are that aggressive, okay, and everyone dies from the flu all the time or falls ill to the flu, imagine what COVID-19 is going to do to a population. That's even scarier. So the indicators are flu A and flu B. The indicators of what not to do is do the herbs and the extracts and the kombuchas and the apple cider vinegars. Okay, that's what not to do. Don't do the elderberry syrup or the colloidal silver. You're seeing people passing around all these little health remedies in these groups that I belong to. Some of them I belong to, then they're like, oh yeah, the colloidal silver. Oh yeah, do these herbs. Oh yeah, a bunch of cannabis. Those that are on cannabis and doing the herbs and the extracts and the oregano oils and the turmeric and the honey are actually causing more weaknesses to their body. So this virus, this aggressive virus, will take them down even more. Okay, so if you want an example of what not to do as far as herbs, look to China. All roads lead to China. If you want to see, the examples of what not to do as far as working out at this point to be healthy, look at your friends and family who are dropping like flies, who are looking like they're elderly, old, they're aging, and they're working out, causing more trauma to the body, more lactic acid buildup, more trauma to their vital organs, or body, mind, and spirit. And they're eating vegan and vegetarian, and they're anti-vax, and they're anti-vax, vegan, vegetarian. There's nothing to them. They will not have any ounce of nutrition to fight off something as aggressive as rapid antibody accumulation. That's what you're up against, is rapid antibody accumulation. And if you don't know how to release, if your body isn't trained to release at the rate that you're taking in, releasing more than the rate that you're taking in as far as antibodies, because right now people are taking in less of the nutrients and releasing more nutrients than they're taking in, and they're holding on to more antibodies than they're releasing, you're going to see people drop like flies. See, right now, everybody has it backwards. They're releasing nutrients and minerals more than they're taking in and absorbing, and they're holding on to the antibodies because they have weaknesses. You should be holding on to more nutrients and minerals and releasing more of the antibodies. But people have it backwards. And so, yes, the whoever it is in Georgia, these FEMA caskets, remember, vaccines are proactivity. Our government is very proactive. Jilly juice is very proactive. Would I make FEMA caskets? No, I make jilly juice. And I'm getting on top of the salt. Okay? We're not doing the pink salt anymore. We're doing the white salt. Now we are being really proactive, but not for death, but for life. Okay? I think we've all been primed with the pink salt. We all got used to it. We see you can heal on the pink salt. So imagine when you get the white pure salt, that's going to be even exponentially more energetic, more healing, more releasing, faster waterfalls. So when you're bringing in those antibodies, you're releasing them just as fast as you're bringing in, but you're still taking on a few to keep protecting you, but you don't have an overabundance of it. That is the point of the J juice, and that is what's going to get lost in those that are not doing J juice. They're doing the oregano oils and the turmerics and the honey and the gingers and the cayenne peppers and the colloidal silvers and the kombuchas and all that crap. Those guys are not going to get it, and they're going to take on more antibodies than they're releasing. And their kids are going to get afflicted. They will get afflicted, and you can't do anything about it. You can't speak in, and they're taking too much of the vitamin C. When you take on so much vitamin C infusions, which is another thing that people are doing, it's going to cause more hormonal imbalances, because what is it? It's hormone replacement therapy. No different than taking freaking vitamin D supplements. Okay? So I'm telling you guys, you're watching history unfold, and I want you to watch from a safe distance. Know what you're up against. You're up against a whole lot. I have no idea what's going to happen in my town when the virus finally hits, if it hasn't hit already, but when it actually hits. It hasn't hit already because we haven't had any confirmed cases. Once there's a confirmed case, and right now the two coasts, California, I know is going to be the first place where people are going to be mass chaos, as far as, I don't say mass chaos, but it's going to be, it's so hard to say, but they're going to have those hospitals and FEMA camps built up. It's going to happen, you guys. It's just a matter of time. My town, I'm in the Northeast, but I'm more inland than not. Okay, our quarantine station is over there up in Michigan and Detroit. But not to say that the Northern Command is not going to build checkpoints and places where they can take in people who have passed away, because the funeral homes are going to be overly, overwhelmed, and you don't know if even the funeral directors are going to survive this. Okay. No, there's no, fluoride is a mineral, Terry Cody. It's not something that you should be afraid of. It's trace minerals, everything. Terry Cody, don't get caught up in the conspiracy fluoride. Fluoride is a mineral. If it was 99% fluoride and 1% sodium, you should be concerned. Okay? But the white salt actually has 99% sodium chloride and 1% anti-caking agent. There is fluoride in the trace minerals in the ground, in the water. Don't get caught up in the conspiracy. That will do you in, Terry Cody. Okay, you need to watch my videos. You need trace minerals, but you don't need it to the extent. Because let me tell you, if you want to know what's fluoride, if you want to know if there's more minerals and more heavy metals, the pink salt has the most fluoride, the most heavy metals, the most trace minerals, okay? And yet we still healed. So now I'm taking away the pink salt. It doesn't matter if it's bleached or not, Lindy Davies. It's not bleached. That's another conspiracy. No, it's not bleached. It doesn't matter if it is or not. It's salt. You cannot take energy away from salt. Salt is salt. You, again, are stuck in the holistic world. That's going to do you in. You guys that are so afraid of the white salt are not going to get this. I mean, the pink salt, you know why they promoted the pink salt? Because it has less sodium chloride. And then they're like, oh yeah, the bleaching agents, the anti-caking agents, all the fear has then instilled in you. People are afraid of the tap water. They're afraid of the white salt. They're afraid of everything that's out there. But you know how many heavy metals, I'm not even call it trace minerals. No, Lindy, no. Stop with the freaking sea salt promotion. You need white salt from your local place, okay? The whole holistic industry has made people so afraid so they can sell you some bullshit freaking salt that has less sodium, more minerals, more freaking heavy metals. We're not even call it trace minerals, we're gonna call it heavy metals. Do you realize that Baja Sea of Cortez salt has less sodium chloride, more minerals? No, Terry, no. Stay with the white freaking salt, Terry and Lindy. See, you guys, I'm telling you, the holistic industry is going to destroy both Lindy and Terry. Those two are examples of the major brainwashing of the holistic industry. They put the fear, they make you think that colored salts that has all the excess minerals and heavy metals is better than sodium chloride. So Lindy and Terry are afraid of salt. They're afraid of sodium chloride. And they are falling victim. They are falling victim to the holistic industry, which means that I don't know how much, I haven't heard any testimonies from Terry because he's not part of my group, or she's not part of my group. So it comes from the freaking ground, Lindy. We have salt deposits in the ground underneath fucking Lake Erie. You think salt only comes from the sea? Are you kidding me? Salt doesn't only come from the sea, Lindy. Where do you think the freaking pink Himalayan salt comes from? The freaking mountains. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? You think salt only comes from the sea? Pink Himalayan salt comes from the freaking mountains, but it's pink because it has all excess minerals. So you think that only white salt comes from the sea and that's it? Okay? Terry and Cody are totally, or Terry and Lindy are totally falling into the freaking holistic world. And they're going to be the ones that are going to do their friends in because of the fear that they put out there. The fear of anything that's sodium chloride. And I fell into it. I bought into their bullshit. Those people that are like them. I bought into that because it was the only way I can get you guys to do the freaking protocol. So everyone's like, oh yeah, the pink salt is so much healthier, so much this and so much that, da, da, da. So I'm like, fine, freaking pink salt. Okay? I'm going to shout at you, Lindy. I'm going to, because you haven't watched my videos and you're putting fear about, oh, it's bleached. Oh, salt only comes from the sea and that's it. Where the fuck do you think pink Himalayan salt came from? Come on. Does that not ring a bell that you can get salt other than the sea and the pink Himalayas, the mountains? You could say, oh, I didn't know, but hey, the logic has to come into play. Logic has to come into play. And when someone is putting fear in the white salt, you're bringing me back to the beginning. You're bringing me back to the trolls that are saying I'm killing people with the white salt. Oh, because it's bleached. Oh, because it has this. Oh, because it has that. You're bringing me back to that. Okay, and I don't appreciate it. I've put videos out there. I have freaking memes that tell you why it is I switched to salt. I swear I do so much for you guys, but you still don't pay attention. And so when I come unglued, it's because you deserve it, because you're not paying attention. You're picking and choosing my information, and then you're trying to challenge me on Facebook Live. So yeah, I'm going to freaking yell at you. You got it. Thanks, Terry. Because I don't know how else to get through to some of you. Some of you are so like a block. And it's like I can't, sometimes I can't penetrate the brainwashing. And so if I can't penetrate brainwashing, I block and delete. I don't deal with it because I don't want to take up my energy trying to convince you, Lindy, or anyone else in the holistic world that wants to demonize white salt because they think it only comes from the sea, or they think it only comes from the pink Himalayan mountains. Okay? So yeah, I'm going to come unglued. I'm going to be triggered. You fucking got it. Oh, you're overreacting. Okay, bye. All right, bye. I'm done. You're overreacting. So see you later. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not. And if you want to say I'm overreacting because you want to stick with your whatever salt, I don't want to deal. I'm going to give you one chance because you've been on my Facebook. If I hear anything more about how bad the white salt is and how I'm overreacting, I'm doing this, I'm cutting you off. Because I don't have time to deal with people who want to keep challenging and are not reading my Facebook or following or watching my videos or anything like that. But I do have a heart. But I also don't have the patience at this point. Not when things are this serious. And now you want to basically challenge this and still instill more fear. And let me tell you, I deal with it with even my own inner circle sometimes, okay? Because they, it's tough to get people to understand, but I don't know how much I can, okay? I'm not gonna block you, but I want you to just stop talking and just listen to my video, okay? I know you asked the question, but if you listen to my video, anti-caking agent, whatever, if it says 99% freaking sodium chloride and you see all of what I put 99% sodium chloride, 1% anti-caking agent, you need the sodium chloride, not the 2% minerals that are in the pink salt. That should be enough. Okay, I was just asking a question. Whatever. You're trying to infuse fear and doubt and think that only salt comes from the ocean and that they bleach the salt so it's poisonous. That's what you're instilling. You're instilling fear about the white salt, which is exactly what I dealt with in the beginning. But I acquiesced to the freaking holistic world. But you still healed on the pink salt. But could you heal faster on the freaking white salt? So now I want to be done with these damn salt wars. Change your salt or don't change it. I don't care. But don't instill fear in the white salt. Don't. The colored salts are all a bunch of bullshit marketing. Don't even get into the colored salt, please. Just get the white salt, your local white. We have over here underneath Lake Erie. We have 20 miles we have caves underneath Lake Erie. Okay? There's no ocean anywhere near here, but there's salt caves. Okay? Salt doesn't only come from the ocean. It comes from the earth. It comes from the freaking mountains. Where do you think pink Himalayan salt comes from? The freaking mountains. Okay? So the holistic industry has done a number on all of you. And you get into these trendy things, and then you want to instill fear and try to market your way because it sounds great. Oh, it's this. Oh, the colored salts are so much better, so much more minerals, but you're getting minerals in the tap water. You get minerals in your cabbage and kale. You get minerals in the air. Okay? How many freaking minerals do you think you need? And you're over mineralized because you haven't released the excess. I haven't seen a testimony from you, Lindy, at all. Even an anonymous testimony. So obviously the pink salt isn't working to the level that it should. So maybe you should switch to salt. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's why I don't see as many testimonies as I want to see, because the pink salt is actually inhibiting your ability to release the excess and actually get the healing. What about that? Wouldn't you think that healing would be faster? I have 100% of my time, for the most part, I say 90% of my time, to devote to the J juice. You guys are like working and doing all your stuff, right? You're not devoting 90% of your time to the J juice. You're devoting maybe 50% or 20%, if that. And you think the pink, and so imagine if you change the salt to the white salt and you get the energy from it, the straight energy from it, how much faster you might heal and get the waterfalls. So yeah, I'm going to overreact. When anyone triggers me around the salt and questions me around, when I've done my research and I've substantiated, and I have it on my freaking Facebook, on my business page, in my group, and you still want to question, you still want to basically poke at me, yes, I'm going to be a bitch. And I don't care at this point, because there's 7 billion people on this planet. Not everyone's going to live through this. And the ones that do are the ones that understand where I'm coming from, and they get it like that. And if you don't get it like that and you want to poke at me, then that's when I let it go, because I don't have time. I can't save everybody. You're going to have to save yourself at some point. And if you're not getting any testimony on the pink salt, then obviously you're not doing it at the level that you should, Lindy. And you're not going to get the why I changed the salt, because you're going to basically, you're going to challenge me, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I doubt it. I'm just going to do it because she says. But I doubt it because it's bleached and it's poisonous and it's this and it's that. Do you understand that bleach is also a mineral? I'm not saying you're going to freaking drink bleach. But, they mine the salt. Morton, they mine the salt. White salt comes from the ground. Okay? Okay? It's like, yes, I get triggered on the salt. You know why? Because salt, my body knows that salt is so important. But I had to fight Dr. Phil. I had to fight all the trolls. I had to fight my own people. I have to fight you guys, you, Lindy, Terry, and all of you guys. I have to fight you guys to even get this point across. And it's exhausting. It's tough to fight my own people. It's even tougher to fight those that are out there. But I don't want you to fight me. But when you fight me, yeah, I'm going to come and get bitchy. And then I want to block, because I don't want to deal with any more fights and any more, oh, I have just a question. Yeah, just a question, infusing fear and doubt. Questions, when people ask questions because they haven't paid attention and they want to basically infuse the fear and doubt. And so sometimes questions are masks for basic people's agendas, and I don't appreciate it. So, so that's why I get everybody scared to ask questions, because it better be something that I haven't covered at all. And if I've covered it, I'm going to freaking come off, because this is too freaking serious. This is too serious. You guys cannot take this lightly. You cannot play these freaking games. Do you know why they've demonized the white salt out there? Because people are healing on it, but they don't want to feel the freaking pain. Okay, if you think salt is poisonous, then don't even do the protocol. If you think this is what, don't even do the protocol. You need to be quiet, Lindy. You're digging your hole deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. You need to just shut up at this point. And I'm going to say it. You need to just be quiet. But yes, when it comes to the salt, I don't budge. I will not debate it. Either you understand it or you don't. I think I've put enough information out there several times in several videos and in memes and in posts. And if you haven't been following me closely and you're just coming on the last couple videos or the last couple posts, you need to go back like a week ago, because I got this white salt almost a week ago. So if you're just coming on the last day or two, you're not very well versed. People come in and out of my protocol, like they come in and out of my Facebook, like they come in and out of my protocol. They're on it, they're off it, they're on it, they're off it, they're on it. And I can tell because I get no real feedback on Facebook from them. I get no testimony from them. It's a half-assed thing for most people, and I know it. I know most of you are half-assing this shit. But can you afford to now? Can you really afford to now? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm gonna be bitchy, because I'm afraid for a lot of people at this point. And I know some of you are not going to survive this. I know it. And so if I don't have to get close to you, I won't, because you're not going to be around. And it sucks. So you better freaking step up your game and start paying attention to my Facebook and read my information, watch the videos, and stop questioning me like as if I haven't done my research. Lindy Davies. You haven't done your homework. You haven't paid attention. You're in and out of this protocol like it's nothing. And now the rubber meets the road. Are you going to survive it? I hope you do. But that's why I don't get close to people, because I know that they're fair weather. They're on it, they're off it, they're on it, they're off it, they're on it, they're off it, whatever. Oh, I love your protocol, but I ain't doing really shit about it. Oh, but now I want to come back to it. I have people that want to come back to it. They have been promoting their holistic crap. And I basically defriended them. Or I block them and then I unblock them and then they want to come back. I don't trust you that you're going to come back and say, oh yeah, I do this. I use these holistic remedies and I do the agilities, both. I don't have time. I don't have time for fair weather people. I really don't. Either you're in it or you're not. There is no half-ass in this shit. Either you want to heal or you want to freaking play games. Okay? So that's why I am the way I am. Because you guys don't have time to fuck around. I don't have time to mess around. This is your life. This is not some flippin' fairy tale. This is your life. And there's some aggressive things going on out there, and you have to be able to survive it. People think I'm nuts, but I haven't been nuts for... People think I'm nuts, but no, something told me. You know, the universe has a way, and if you open up your pineal gland and you actually heal, you can actually tap into the messages from the universe. Not like it's going to be like this voice from heaven talking to you. But you're going to be gravitating towards certain things. You're going to be exploring certain things. You're going to be uncovering certain things. You're going to take an interest. You're going to pay attention to the world and not stick your head in the sand and pretend that you're in an ivory tower because you're an American or whatever. You're not going to be defensive when I come unglued because you want to infuse your fear about the white salt. You'd be like, oh, hold on a second. I better freaking back off. Because I'm telling you, I don't get unglued a lot. But when it comes to the salt, yes, I do. And there's a reason behind it. You have to learn how to read me. If you don't know how to read me, then you're not going to know how to read yourself. And most of you don't know how to read yourself, much less know how to read me. So you'll keep digging your hole until I'm just done. And believe me, I've been done with a lot of people lately. You know, and so I have no problem blocking people because, you know, it's like when you are blaming your predispositions on the jelly juice, and you could be exposed to the flu virus, the COVID-19 that's causing an aggravation to your predisposition, and you're going to blame me for your issues. That's where I'm just done. Go back to your doctor. Go get your drugs. Go smoke your pot. Go drink your alcohol. That's really where you're more geared for. It's not for the J juice. Healing is not for everybody. Not everybody can face who they've been and who they are for the last 200, 300, 400 years in their family. Not everybody has the capacity to heal. Because it's too easy to be trendy and with the right crowd and not make waves and, of course, not promote J-Juice because you'll get the backlash, which I understand. But at some point, you know, you're going to have to take a stand. At some point, you're going to have to take a stand. At what point are you going to be like, okay, you know, am I going to be this small person on the sidelines, or when are you going to go and actually get in the game and start freaking healing? But, you know, we have a couple weeks before it actually hits. They're gearing up. They're ramping up. They're letting you know, the mainstream media is letting you know how aggressive this is. It's not going to be an easy venture. And if you're just starting the protocol or just getting back on it, you better stay at home. Or, you know, and I don't know how they're going to tell their employers. When somebody's sick, are they going to tell employers, or somebody's sick, you need to report any sick people, you know, calling in sick, report them, and then we go and do something or whatever. I mean, who knows to what extent, to what level, to what depth they're going to be looking for those that are sick. You don't know to what level or what depth is going to be going on as far as looking for sick in quarantine. You can't not take this seriously. Salt is not poisonous. You get healing symptoms because your body needs to heal, especially when you pair the salt with the cabbage and the kale, the probiotic, the water, the micro and macronutrition, and you're getting minerals in the salt, not a lot, but you're getting minerals, not the extent of how much is in the pink salt, but you're getting minerals in the tap water. Oh, I don't drink tap water. Well, whatever, you need the minerals. So you probably should drink tap water with the white salt, or you can mix the pink salt and the white salt together. Either way, it doesn't matter. I drink tap water. I eat conventional vegetables. You know, since I'm not 100% on the protocol because I'm healed and sealed, you know, the minerals in the food supply I go outside and breathe in the chemtrails. I get minerals that way. Okay. And so you're getting an amazing amount of nutrition and your body has to heal. So don't chalk up that your healing process because of white salt, because of the bleach, because that's where you were going. That's why I was getting unglued on you, Lindy. You were going there. You were going to try to blame that there's bleach in the white salt and that's going to cause people to have, and that's what the argument with Dr. Phil, with all of my trolls, with everyone in the holistic world that's afraid of the white salt, that is their argument. And it's a bullshit argument that I'm not going to accept and not even have anyone inference that argument. And I will destroy that argument with every ounce of my being. So that's where you got my energy from, is you don't demonize sodium chloride. Because when you actually look at the articles in the holistic world, people need salt. Salt is an electrolyte. Sodium chloride, which is a compound element, is an electrolyte. But what it's paired with is what is the difference. When you put sodium chloride with fluoride, now you have 99% fluoride, 1% sodium chloride, that's acidic. But when you have salt paired with cabbage and kale that has prohormones, minerals, and vitamins, which is prohormones, nutrients, micro and macronutrition, and you ferment it in tap water, you're going to get all the minerals and the electrolytes. Okay, there's no reason to be redundant in pink salt or black salt or blue salt or white salt or green salt or gray salt. There's no reason. You don't have to get sea salt. No. The white salt can be mined from the ground. Salt Lake City. Where the hell do you think Salt Lake City gets herself? There's no ocean in the middle of Salt Lake City. It's a salt lake. Because a lot of salt is coming to surface and it makes us salt. But then there's 20 miles or 200, I forget. 20, not 200 miles. 20 miles underneath Lake Erie is salt beds. Okay? So salt doesn't only come from the sea or from the pink Himalayan mountains, the Himalayan mountains. It also comes from Salt Lake City in salt beds. It comes from underneath Lake Erie. Salt is the most predominant element, and people are demonizing. Oh, it's white. It has to be colored. Colored is so many minerals, but you get minerals. It's redundant. You're getting minerals in everything else. There's no reason to overtax your body with more minerals. Okay, so when you have healing symptoms in your alimentary canal, you know that you're going to fix and heal and seal, so that way you can regrow and regenerate and be very strong against this major environment. This is your Silk Road, the alimentary canal. Okay, so, you know, and then you have imbalances in your fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. And you have to release the excess antibodies, which is what the balancing force when you have an overabundance of all of this. Okay, there's fucking water has fluoride, it has mercury, it has everything. Who cares? Your body's gonna release the excess and absorb what it needs. You need the fucking fluoride. You guys are like totally, I swear to God, but I understand this is the brainwashing is insane. Do you know that I drink tap water? Okay, so they put fluoride in it. They put an added fluoride in it. Guess what? My body takes in the fluoride and it releases the excess fluoride. That's what antibodies do. When you have an excess amount of any mineral, any fatty acid, any amino acid, any prohormone, your body will release the excess antibody. Now, if they put 99% fluoride, where it's basically so like acid, you're not going to freaking drink it, Nancy. Are you going to drink it? No, you're not going to drink straight up sodium fluoride. But if the parts per million are such, then your body will be able to absorb what it needs. And that's why the white salt is so amazing, because it energizes your body to then release the excess antibodies that encapsulate too many minerals, too many prohormones, too many amino acids, too many fatty acids, as well as bacteria. Okay. And your body will absorb what it needs. That's why you need the white salt. So you're not making your body work harder trying to release the excess when you're already over mineralized, because you have imbalances and you're taking in the pink salt and the black salt and white and the blue salt and whatever, which has excess minerals. Now your body has to work harder to release it. But water, whatever they put in the water, don't worry about it. The salt and the minerals in the cabbage and the kale and the fermentation and the probiotics will allow your body to release what it needs and absorb what it needs. Release the excess and absorb what it needs. So the fear of the tap water is completely unwarranted. It's based upon their conspiracy world trying to scare you into getting water filtration systems. Okay, you guys don't know to what extent you have been manipulated to make you buy shit because out of fear, because you have predispositions and you have issues. And so everybody wants to blame something. They want to blame the vaccines. They want to blame the chemtrails. They want to blame the 5G. They want to blame Jilly Juice. They want to blame Monsanto. They want to blame the pesticides. They want to blame genetically modified. So you can choose your freaking poison of fear and blame it. Oh, the tap water. And that's one of Alex Jones's major things, the fluoride in the tap water. And that's why I resent Alex Jones. But he did wake me up to start thinking in a different way. But he stayed capitalizing on the fear. And he made you basically go buy a water filtration system when you don't need to. Here's the thing. No matter what, you can't, even if you don't do J juice and you have imbalances, you can't. Okay, you can't live in a bubble. And Nancy goes, I've asked because I've heard tap water has an overabundance of fluoride in it. I'd never heard our bodies release the overage ever before. Thank you. Okay, so she never heard that. Well, that's what I'm telling you guys with the J juice, you guys. Nancy, have you not been listening to about the J juice? It releases the excess. What the hell do you think waterfalls autophagy is? What do you think the mucus is? When you are holding on to your shit and when you're keeping the mucus in your body, you're holding on to excess fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. And guess what? Fluoride's a freaking mineral. So if you're not doing the J juice and you're not getting the waterfalls and you're not getting mucus, yes, you are making yourself overabundant in everything that you have imbalances. So you could be drinking the tap water, breathing the air, eating the food, and you'll be holding on to all of that, causing imbalances. And then you go get a test, a titer test. You'll test positive for every virus. You'll test high numbers in all of your minerals. And then they're like, oh, you got to stay away from fatty acids. You got to stay away from amino acids. You got to stay away from this mineral and that mineral. And that's where the functional medicine comes in, because you guys are holding on to shit and mucus that you're not releasing. Okay? Hey, my. And that is why people are afraid of the tap water. They're afraid of meat. They're afraid of the chemtrails. They're afraid of 5G. They're afraid of everything. And so when an aggressive virus comes into the environment and causes more antibody acquisition, guess what? You'll end up in a freaking FEMA casket. Because that's where most of you are headed that are not doing the J juice at the level that you should. You're so afraid of the tap water, so afraid of this, so afraid of that. You're headed to basically a freaking FEMA casket, because this virus is going to be no fucking joke on those bodies that are they're not doing the J juice. Because you're not releasing the excess and you're not fixing the weaknesses. So, but I'm telling you, yes, this was a major emotional video because you guys have an inordinate amount of fear. And you're still buying into the holistic world. So, what are you going to do, Nancy? You're going to go live in a bubble where you say, oh, I've never heard our bodies release the overage before. Are you freaking, what is poop and pee? What is that? That's an overage releasing, when you have a filtration process, don't you think that's an overage, an excess overage, releasing the excess? I mean, what do you think your digestive system is for? What do you think sweating is for? What do you think mucus? I mean, come on, you guys. The reason why you're not releasing the excess at the level that you should is because you have a stagnation. And that's the whole point of fucking Jilly Juice. Do you not get it? Do you not get it, Nancy? Yes, I'm going to be freaking emotional because you guys are purposely not getting it because you want to stay stuck in the holistic sphere world. And I'm so over it. This is where the rubber's going to meet the road for all of you. Either you do the J, just understand it and stop living the fear and fear the tap water, fear of everything, or you end up in a freaking FEMA casket. Those are your only two choices. So either step up your game and do the white salt with the J juice, stop being fearful of the tap water, stop giving your money to things that are going to cause more fear and it's going to take away from your friends or from your family, or you're going to go end up in a freaking FEMA casket because you want to stay stuck in the fear of tap water and you want to blame the government. You know, I don't know who started this whole thing with the biological warfare. I have no idea. You can say Bilderberg, say the Illuminati, the Rockefellers, the communists, whatever. But they want 500 million people left on this earth. From 7 billion, look at the Georgia Guidestones, 7 billion to 500 freaking million. Do you want to be part of the 6 billion, 500 million? Do you want to be part of those that are in the FEMA caskets? The 6 billion, 500 million? Or do you want to be one of the 500 million? Okay? Thanks, Terry. I want all of you to be part of the 500 million that are still left on this earth. Okay? And that's why I am the way I am. That's why I'm a fucking bitch sometimes, yes. Because I don't want to be alone. In my town, I'm going to be probably alone. And I'll probably have to move somewhere near people who are doing the JJs at some point. It's not going to happen right away, but who knows with this aggressive virus, what it's going to do to my circle of people here locally. But that's what you're facing. That's what you guys are all facing. You can't afford to be in the fear. Okay? Tap water is not poisonous. Fluoride is only poisonous when the parts per million are so to where it is undrinkable. If you can't drink tap water or breathe the air that has been EPA approved, if you can't eat food that's been FDA approved, you have imbalances. That is not the tap water's fault. It's not the food's fault. It's not the air's fault. It's not the water's fault. It's not anyone's fault but yourself, Nancy Ann. If you can't handle the tap water or the food or the air or your environment, you have to get your environment well balanced. And that is where the Jilly Juice comes in. And if you don't understand Jilly Juice at that level, then you're going to end up in a FEMA casket because you're going to only do Jilly Juice a little bit because you won't like the healing. Because I know you're not doing the Jilly Juice. And if you are, it's very minimal, like a lot of you. Very minimal. So it's not going to make a difference. I treated my Jilly Juice as if my life depended on it, even with the pink salt. Even when I acquiesced to the pink salt, I did the Jilly Juice like my life depended upon it because it did. You guys treat it as if it was just something that, oh, it'll be there forever. Yeah, but will you be there forever? Jilly Juice will be here forever. But will you? And you guys just as if you're going to be here forever. No, you're not if you're not even going to do it. And a lot of you aren't even doing it. You talk a great game, but you're not even doing the Jilly Juice. So now the rubber is meeting the road. FEMA caskets or life. That's what you're facing. FEMA caskets or life. Good luck.